There we are. Okay. Hey, this is our lunch and learn. It is straight up 12 o'clock. And I don't know if you can hear my music. This is going to get me through.
I know that's right.
Praise.
Gotta make us start having church. You might have me out here laid in the spirit.
That's it. Before Facebook put us in Facebook jail. Because they don't like that. The music is not my music, or whatever they say you should say, that I do not own the rights to that music. That is Hezekiah Walker for real. But I just love starting with praise. And this lady right here is like the woman that I love, who is the real deal. Okay, Nicole Roberts Jones. She has a story I want her to share about how she got into this space of really finding your fears, which is her book. And if you have not read about her, she was also in Speakers Magazine. So you can read all about her story there. But the main thing, if you want to meet her, you got to meet her here at Boston. It'd be the answer. So I started the song about Hezekiah Walker praise. And so Nicole has had a illustrious career in California. She was working in Hollywood and she was doing casting, and she really had a lot going on. But there was something that happened in a shift where she went from just really having a job to really walking in her purpose. And then that actually she became the purpose to paycheck expert. So Nicole Roberts Jones, thank you for joining us today. And I want you to tell that story, because that always, when I think about you, that inspired me. And remember the first time we met, you had that girls organization called Amani.
Yep. So thank you first, Pam. First, I'm always excited when I'm around Pam because I've watched her journey in the last 15 years, Jesus. Anyway, and so thank you for all you do for all of us in the industry that hold the space that others can come behind us. So for me, listen, ever since I was 8 years old, maybe 7, I had always dreamed of being in Hollywood. And so here I was, just 2 years out of college. I was living my dream. I was working. Well, first I worked for Viacom's largest cable network. We had an outreach to 89 million homes on a weekly basis. That's BET, because I know some of y'all gonna want to know. Right. Then from there, I worked for the #1 TV show on Fox in casting. And then from there, I got offered a position for a company, and what we produced generated over $12.6 billion a year. And I'm saying that because I want you to realize that I was already doing all the things I dreamed of. I was successful. Plus, I was going to all the hot Hollywood parties, right? Bumping elbows with the stars, red carpet, all of that, right? And so I was living my dream, but it had become my nightmare. And I'm saying that because I felt like something was missing and I couldn't figure out what it was. And every time I tried to talk to one of my friends about it, they kept saying, girl, have you lost your mind? Didn't we just go to the premiere, and didn't we just go to the red carpet and did it? So I was totally dazed and confused. And I don't know how many of you are already successful. You've had this job you always wanted, right? But there's some meaning missing, some fulfillment missing. Or maybe you already started the business you always dreamed of starting, but you still feel like something's missing. So whether you're in either of those places, anywhere in between, that's where I was. And so in the middle of me feeling like that, one of my girlfriends invited me to volunteer at a youth program at our church. And so, by the way, I'm from South Central LA. If you've seen Boys in the Hood, I grew up 10 blocks from that, pretty much where they filmed that, right? So Brandy is me. If you don't know who Brandy is, go watch the movie. So anyway,
one of my favorites.
Right. So literally I go inside the church that night and I start working with young women. And as I work with them and I look in their eyes light up. And as their eyes light up, my heart lights up. And I realize, oh my God, this is what I'm meant to do. But here's the thing. This was 1993. There was no such thing as a coach. And maybe there was, but I should have known.
Not really the internet either.
Right. There was no internet. Right.
MySpace.
It might have been internet, but I wasn't on it yet. Right. It was probably, what was it, Netscape back then?
Or Black Planet.
Right. So I want you guys to get, I was really staring in the face of my purpose and I didn't know it then. I can really talk about it now because in that moment, September 1993, knees knocking and teeth chattering, I said yes to this thing that was rumbling in my soul. I couldn't sleep. When I went home that night, I couldn't sleep. The way that I had worked with those young women lit me up like nothing I had done had ever. I didn't even know I was capable of feeling like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started to volunteer at my church, working with young women. And really, when I talk to them now, and they're in their 40s, I don't know how they're in their 40s because I'm still 28. But anyway, when I talk to them now, and this is 1993, so this is 26 years ago, I started in this whole path. And they say, Nicole, what you really did was you put us on a path to our purpose. And you really helped us carve out who we wanted to be. And part of that, I'd encourage them to go to college, or if you're going to go to beauty school, at least get a business degree so you can own more than one beauty shop, right? Or own your own shop, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you that story because for me in that moment, Pam, I didn't know what this thing was. It wasn't glamorous. Somebody was knocking down the doors to do this work, and I didn't know how the heck I was going to get paid for it.
Right. How were you, quote unquote, going to monetize it?
And so that is why I'm so passionate. In that moment, I called it Finding My Fierce. And I want you guys to understand, yes, my book is called Find Your Fierce. And let me tell you why. Because purpose is so overused. Purpose is so overused, right? And what I realized in that moment for me, it was bigger than just purpose. I was finding my predestination. So here's what I mean by that. Purpose and predestination, same thing. Yes. Bible verse, Romans, and I'll know the Bible, not know where it is, but it's in this book, Romans 8, I think somewhere, 28 or 29, where it says, whom he foreknew, he predestined. He foreknew all of us, or else you wouldn't be here. Let me be clear. And so in that moment for myself, in that church that night, what was rumbling in my soul was my predestination. Now, what I realized now on this side of the journey, so I went back to school, got my master's degree, started doing this work. My girls started becoming women, and now I only work with adults, right? And really what I do is help you take the gifts that you already have and help you understand how to do two things: be the answer you were born to be in this world, so that you make a difference and you make money while you do it. Because what I learned in my own journey, and we've heard this, especially you church folks, right? We've heard this, that there's a Bible verse, John 10:10, and I do know this Bible verse because God gave me this in a vision, right? He said, I came that you have life and have it more abundantly. And some of you are sleeping on your abundance because you haven't fully stepped into your fierce, your gift, that thing that's rumbling in your spirit. And so that's really my story. Is I started to go after that thing. And as I began to learn how to do it, it took me 17 years to figure out how to make money doing this. And that's why I'm so committed to teach other people. One, how do you master the gifts inside of you, right? Mm-hmm. It's one thing to know you have a gift. It's another thing to master it.
That's
and
true.
Two, how do you create a business around it? I see so many people, and I'm going to stop so you can ask the next question, but I see so many people that start businesses that are not clear on the foundation their business sits on. And that's why they're not able to get into six figures. I mean, not ongoing, right? You might hit it once, but I need you to be making it predictable quarter over quarter, month over month. And so really that's why I am inviting you guys to join me at Be the Answer in October.
And so everybody has a gift. They have a skill and they have a talent. But explain the difference between a gift, talent, and a skill. So a skill could be a web designer, right? But the gift may be an eye for design. So explain how your gifts, how it made room for you in terms of preparing you for your business that you're doing right now. Because you coach, right? You do events. You actually talk about courses, and you have a teaching gift. Because I've seen you live in person, and no matter where Nicole is, she's going to be teaching somewhere.
Yeah, bring a pen. Bring a pen. Because I'm not somebody, let me say this to you. I don't care if you're inspired or excited when I talk to you. Because inspiration gets you nowhere but hope. And I remember my husband said once, hope without execution is hallucination. Woo! And I don't need you hallucinating. I don't need you hallucinating.
That's a good one to tweet.
Right. Hope without execution is hallucination. So anytime you're around me, I'm about activating you. So as a teacher, I want to give you steps to implement, right? It's so important. Why am I so passionate about that? Because it took me too doggone long to figure out how the heck to not just find my fears, but how the heck do I make money from it? Because here's the thing I want you guys to get, because I'm not about money. I'm more about meaning, but I want you to think about this for a minute. When you make more money, the meaning you give to your family, the meaning you give to your community. Think about the college tuition you can pay for. Think about the mortgage, the house you can pay off. Think about when Puerto Rico lost all its power. I wrote a check instantly. Why? Because I'm making money. I can do that. So when you're making more money, you have greater impact. And the more money I make means I can serve more people because I can bring in more systems in my business. So for me, so the question you asked.
And employing people. Yeah.
Right. And so the question Pam asked about the different gifts, talents. Here's the thing. I think all of them are all related. It's what you do with what you already have. I'm gonna say that one more time. It's what you do with what you already have, right? So when I think about myself, and those of you that read this book, and I'm not selling the book, but you're gonna hear me, you're gonna hear this.
No, but it is a good book. It's one of those books where it's like, oh, okay, I've got millions of books. I started reading Nicole's book, and I was like, she is spilling all the tea. She is like, there's a lot of books, and I won't say, well, I will say, okay, just hold on. There's a book that, okay. It's called Boss Up. Okay, I don't have it right now. I bought it at the airport. And so I was like, okay, so this lady's making millions of whatever. And she's doing these young essential oils, I think it is. And no shade on her. So I pick up the book and I read it. And it was all inspiration. Like she was saying, it was like, I don't get what's new and different in here. What steps? What did I learn? And literally I read very, very fast. So I can pick up right away if a book is good or not. And not saying that the book isn't good, because maybe it's like for babies, beginners, but it didn't get, if you're going to boss up, it just basically says, know your purpose, find out why you love what you love, how to build a brand, make sure you get a photo shoot. I'm like, okay, well, who doesn't know this? But this right here, this book, her book tells you the steps, what she did, what worked, what didn't work, how to make it work, and what's needed in the sequence that you need to do things. Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, this is why I'm so passionate, you guys, because so many people begin businesses. And when I say you don't have a strong foundation, you think you do, because maybe you made money once. You made one program, you created a program, you made money one time. And now you're having a hard time because you can't figure out how to do it again. Let me say this to you. When you first start anything, you got a whole group of people that are watching you because they're excited for you. After that first group, you don't have an audience anymore. So if you don't have a foundation that's strong, it doesn't pull more people into you. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I teach. But to go back to what I was going to share with you that's in this book, and I'm not plugging my book, but I want you to get this. In this book, there's a picture of me when I was 3. When I was 3 years old, I'm pushing a baby carriage. There's not a baby in that carriage. I don't have kids. I have wonderful bonus children, and I have wonderful bonus grandchildren, but I don't have kids that I birthed, right? So, but in that baby carriage, books, papers, and at 3, I was already a producer. If you ask any of my friends that grew up with me in my neighborhood, when we were little, we still used to play outside, right? We used to play whatever, Batman, let's say, one of my favorite things to play. But I was the girl that would say, okay, Pam, you're going to be Batman. I'm going to be Robin. And I'm setting the whole scene. Who does that? That's my picture, right? No baby in that carriage, none, right? But why am I sharing that with you? Because who I am right now was already naturally in me. Understand this. When I started working in the entertainment industry, now mind you, when I was feeling the disconnect, it was only because I was using my gift in the wrong way. Well, not in the wrong way. I wasn't using it fully, I should say. So when I worked in casting, I was putting people in the right role based on their gift. What do I do now? I put people in the right role for their greatest gift, right? But not just put you in the role, help you maximize it so that the people that are assigned to you, there are people assigned to you, will come to you, number 1. Number 2, so that they benefit from your gift. A lot of you don't even realize the result that you give to people, right? And so you're not creating based on result. You're creating based on, I know they need that. Well, they don't know you yet. So how dare you tell me what I need and I don't know you? But when you speak in a different way, it shifts not just the trajectory of your business, it shifts the atmosphere. And so that really is when I started doing the work myself and I started shifting and realizing who I already was. I started getting tools to enhance who I already was, is when everything shifted from being broke in my business to really being bankable in my business.
That is good. And so when I tell people that they have a gift, so if you've been working anywhere for, 10 years or more, and you've been making money for that company, because they wouldn't have you around if you weren't really an asset.
Right.
So now maybe a lot of our people are like, okay, maybe they're kind of anxious. It's like, I want to do something different. Or even if they want to do a side hustle that can eventually grow into a full-time multi-million-dollar business. What are the steps that you really think that people should do first in order to really make that shift? A lot of people say, well, you need to get a website, you need to get a photo shoot, you need to do this or that, but kind of tell them what you're going to teach them in depth and be the answer. Because you are answered for someone. We are answered to someone's prayer. We just step into it. And I really do believe that. That's like one of the reasons why we do whatever we do, because we're led by God. It's part of our destiny to do it. But a lot of people are afraid. And that's why I like when you talk about find your fears, because fear means that you're not afraid. You got to walk into it.
Well, here's the thing. There's a Bible that says we're fearful. We're wonderfully and fearfully made. It doesn't say fearless, fearful. So you don't activate your faith until you're in the face of fear. And the only reason fear comes is because God is pushing you to play bigger than you've ever played before. So understand, you go be scared, right? But what you're doing is you're expanding your territory in the middle of it. So here's the thing that I know for sure to answer her question. I just had to say that because, sometimes I feel bad that I'm scared. And I'm like, wait a minute. What God is doing is pushing me to grow. So I'm supposed to be scared, right? So let me lean on you, Lord, right? So, and Be the Answer is 2 days. So understand, I call it an intensive. This is not a conference where you have a whole bunch of people speaking at you. Now, I'm not talking about anybody's conference that does that. But here's what I know in my own experience. Every time I ever went to an event like that, and I still go, I get a great information. I have a whole notebook full of notes, but I don't know what the heck to do with it when I get home, right? So I'm hallucinating when I get home, right? You heard my quote a few minutes ago, right? So what I wanted to do and really what God put in my spirit when I created Be the Answer, this is my 4th year doing it, is I wanted to hold the space as an incubator. So for those of you that have already been in business or you want to start a business, but let me be clear. I'm not someone that teaches you how to begin a pen or a cup or a t-shirt business. If you want to sell clothes, I'm not your girl. What I am is someone that's an intellectual property expert. So going back to what Pam just said a few minutes ago, many of you guys are getting a paycheck and you're building somebody else's $1 billion brand. And there's a $1 billion brand that God placed inside of you. I'm coming for that, right? So here's what I want you to understand. I call it now, don't call it a side hustle. Let me tell you why. Because once I was creating a webinar, I looked up the word hustle and they had pimp and prostitute next to it. So I said, yeah, I'm not using that word anymore. Because I'm not.
Yeah, that's not a good word then.
Right. I'm not trying to have you pimp your gift, right? So I call it alongside, right? Because what I want
somebody else's conference, pimp your gift.
So what I want to do is teach you how to build your business alongside your 9 to 5 for grace and ease, not stress. I want to teach you how to make money while you sleep. So here's what I want you to get about Be the Answer. I'm going to tell you. So I call it going after your more because you're already successful and I know that, right? So what more, and I spell more out when we're together. So again, it's 2 days. So the first part of the first day, M, is mastery of you. What so many people don't stop to do is really take the time to get clear on the results you create for people and how are you going to position your gift the right way. When you say I'm empower people, nobody buys empowerment. They can get that free at church on Sunday. So we've got to look at how do we take your gift and master it, one, and then really utilize it as a catalyst to bring people to you. So that's the first part of the first day. And yes, you get a workbook. We're doing the work in the room. I'm coaching you, laser coaching you through each segment. Okay. Then we have a break. We have, oh, by the way, every break is a networking break because your next accountability partner is in that room, right?
Yes.
The second part of the first day is optimize. Again, I'm spelling out more. M, mastery you, O, optimization. So I don't believe in marketing. And I said this, I was on Sister Circle last year and they were like, oh, let me tell you why I don't believe in marketing. Because you can buy the latest marketing software. And if you don't master yourself in the middle of it, that little cookie cutter you just bought is not going to work. So how do you optimize the marketing strategies that are in alignment with who you be, right? So what works for you? Like I was meeting with a couple women yesterday and they were like, Nicole, you're on camera. I came from entertainment. So all this lighting and stuff I have, this is not for everybody, but what's right for you? What's right for your ideal client? So we've got to optimize that. We've got to build strategy so that you are pulling people to you. What people don't tell you is that only 2% converts. 2%. So if you want to get 20 people in a program, you got to get in front of 1,000 people. How you do that? Yeah, I'm going to teach you how to do that at Be the Answer. So that's just the first day. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. In the evening, we have a panel, a successful entrepreneur panel that night. So you can ask them questions because maybe you think I'm not telling you the truth. So let's ask some other people, right? Now, the second day is what everybody wants to know. What do you think the R of more is? Revenue. And the reason I make that number 3 is because you can't get to revenue, not real revenue, not predictable revenue. I'm not talking about, people sell 60K in 60 days. I'm not talking about that because then what happens the next 60 and then the next 60. I'm talking about predictable revenue month over month, quarter over quarter. I can't even say it, right? So
let me just stop right there for the 60 day and 60K. I just had a conversation with TC Cooper. And we were saying that sometimes these programs at 60K and 60 day can be very similar to an MLM. So
Yeah.
So if anybody knows about, like, it's like, okay, I do it. I'm doing 60K in 60 days. I'm charging this amount of money, and then I'm teaching you how to do that. So they do it, and then the next group, they do it for them, and then and so it's really, at this point, it's not sustainable, because you're teaching people to basically do what you did for that 1 month.
And
And
you
then
leave
they
out
have to,
their secret sauce. So if I'm doing what Pam does, the exact way Pam does it, okay, I can't be Pam on a great day. Now, Pam is phenomenal, don't get me wrong, but I can't be Pam Perry. I don't care if I dye my hair a different color, cut it shorter. I don't care if I move to Detroit. I cannot be Pam Perry, okay? So
so
you
you
got to
have to do
understand.
something that's sustainable for you.
Right. And there's success leaves clues. So there's some things that we all do that you can use, but if it's not in alignment, that's why mastery you is first, y'all. Right. Revenue model is not for certain revenue models are not for everyone. And then certain revenue models need to shift quarter after quarter. So how do you decide what works for you? And then here's the other thing that I was sleeping on for years is that you need more than one stream of income. So
Oh yeah.
that activity, I walk you through what I call revenue wheel, where we create more than one stream of revenue for you. And I love this because those of you that skeptical, I'm like, Nicole, you can't create revenue. Now, again, if you have a pen or a cup, I can't. You're right, because all you can do is sell that cup or sell that pen or sell that lipstick. But one of my clients who did come to me that has a lipstick applicator line said, oh, you can't help me. I said, well, how many people call you and ask you about manufacturing? Ooh, a lot. That's called intellectual property, boo. Bring your butt up.
Ah,
So,
yes.
so
Some of that
that is
information.
the piece that we can create more revenue around. And so we do an exercise where we create multiple streams of revenue in the room. Then, of course, we have networking. Again, I keep saying that because it's so important to me that you meet a village, because entrepreneurship can be lonely. I don't care how many girlfriends you have. If they're not entrepreneurs, they can't help you. And so then the end of the second day is execution. So then we make time for you to make a plan. What are you going to do in the next 30, 60, 90 days? So I can coach you and answer questions. You've gotten a lot of information, but how are you going to implement it when you get home? That's so important to me. And again, laced throughout, I keep the room intimate. Now, my team gets mad at me when I say this. So I'm saying 50, I might let it go to 65, right? And I know I need to let that go. But I'm so funny. I was meeting with two women that are head of an organization here in Massachusetts yesterday that are going to be part of the answer. And they were like, how many? That's it? I said, well, I want to be able to coach women. I want to be able to see when you have a question on in your eyes, I can go, hey, you have a question. No, I don't. Yes, you do. I can see it, right? Because I'm there to coach you. So literally it's
That's
me and you in those 2 days.
too, right?
And I will call you out and with love, right? I remember I had a client at Be the Answer 2 years ago, real quick story, then I'll hush. 2 years ago, who kept saying she was a financial planner. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a gift, and it's not me, it's God. Now sometimes it's not easy because this woman didn't know me, and it's so funny because I could feel in my spirit sheet that wasn't it. So I kept saying that's not it. She's like, yes, it is. I said, I know you don't know me. You just met me probably 3 hours ago, but that's not it. And she's been a client, so she's a stylist. Her name is Stephanie Michelle. You can look her up. You can ask her this question, right? So she was like, and she said, well, I said, what do people keep asking you about? She said, being a stylist. I said, well, that's it. It's not that other thing you said. And I walked away. So she said, she was like, ugh. So she said she went back and prayed about it. And she started seeing how many people have been coming to her for that. And she
Wow.
had been overlooking it. So understand, when you say yes to Be the Answer, understand that I'm coming for your gift. I'm coming for your next level. When I look at where Stephanie is now, when she came to Be the Answer, her bank account was negative $200. Within the first year after Be the Answer, her income grew over 500%.
Wow.
Just from that shift, just from being willing to be committed to take the action and do all the work that I'm going to recommend while you're in the room so that we can move your purpose forward.
That is good. So she was actually trained as a financial planner. She thought that's what she's supposed to do, and that's what people
Or
were.
it was either financial planner or life coach. I might be messing it up. I do know she's a stylist now. It was one or the other, right?
Right. But it is, and you do really take people through like how they discover it, and then also too by being in the room. I would say those that show up go up. By being in the room, you can look someone in their eye and say, no, you know what it is. God is really speaking to me, and I think that this is. How do you feel that this really works for you?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, she went and prayed on it, and now she's like flowing in her gift. But it only happened because she showed up.
She was in
And
the room.
that's so important
Mm-hmm.
because I just went to the Faithpreneur conference this last weekend, and then the month before was another conference. But seeing other people at their events, because they did invest to show up, they go to a next level. And so sometimes you're wondering, like, okay, year after year, I'm still in this same spot. If you want something different, you got to do something different. So,
Yep.
so traveling to BeTheAnswerEvent.com, Yes, all the way to Boston.
Come on through. Listen, I'm from LA, so I would have never, ever, ever said yes to Boston. Let me be clear, right? But God has a different plan for me. It's called a husband that I fell in love with. But where? Oh, Lord Jesus. So listen, here's the thing I want you to get. Boston in autumn is beautiful, and you will never find a hotel room for $159 a night at this time.
No.
So the hotel rooms are $159 a night. And for those of you that register, I'm giving Pam's Tribe a special code. So the event is $397. If you go to the website, you'll see right now it's $297 until September 1st. But for you until September 1st with the code SPEAKER, it's $197. So again, the code is SPEAKER. So when you check out, you'll see it says code SPEAKER. No S, SPEAKER, right? So definitely, if you know it's time, get in the room. Even if you're coming by yourself, understand I got you. Come empty. I'm going to be full. I'm coming to pour all I have into you. Bring all your questions. Bring a notebook full of questions. I got you. Again, betheanswerevent.com. Use the code SPEAKER. It's October 4th and 5th. That's a Thursday. Excuse me. That's a Friday and a Saturday. And I do that. It's travel Thursday night, go home Sunday morning. So, you know, those of you that work a 9 to 5, I get it. Take one day off, right? Come on Friday, Thursday night, go back home Sunday morning and be ready. Be ready to have your whole business, your whole life shifted. If you look at the video that's on the page, just last thing a woman said last year, I feel like this is part spiritual retreat and part business conference. So understand that God shows up in the middle of that. And I'm a God's girl. So sometimes God shows up and shows out. Be ready, because whatever happens in that room is because it's your time, and I'm clear that I'm coming for you to be the answer you were born to be in this world.
That is so good. Nicole Roberts Jones, I just thank you for you being obedient to your gift, and really how do I say this? You found your passion and your purpose, and it's creating a paycheck, multiple paycheck with multiple numbers. And now you just want to teach other women how to do the same thing. And it's more than just click funnels, and it's more than just copy and photos and all. That's part of it. That's part of the brand. But what you really go through is the mindset. You go through, tell them about the methods that they need, and you really show them how to really engage with the audience that they're called to be the answer for. And so I thank you for doing that. That is awesome. I can't wait to see you. We're going to be doing some live while we're there, talking to some of the people that are there. They'll be showing up and telling us their aha moments, right? Because you're going to be like the Oprah, and I'm going to be like your Gail there. It's like, okay, what all right, let's do this. But I really do. When you talk about really walking to your purpose, Ministry Marketing Solutions was one of those things where God just said, dropped in my heart and said, this is what you're called to do. You're to help other people who are called to do ministry. And this is really your ministry. This is your ministry.
And can I just say one thing? I should have looked this up, but people think ministry is just for ministers that are standing in the pulpit.
No. It's for everybody. Uh-oh, you froze. Come back. All right, she kind of froze. She was like, ministry is not just for those in the church. Ministry is really providing service for other people. Okay, so Nicole froze right there. So on that note, I want you all to share this. There you are.
Here I am. Like, I'm looking up the word ministry. I was like, hey, since I'm frozen, let me look up the word ministry. Right? So hold on, you guys. I'm going to look it up. I did this on a Facebook Live because people hear me say, this is my ministry all the time. And yes, it's the vocation of a minister. Of course, it's going to take forever for me to find not some a certain period. The work or it's work or vocation, right? I can't find the definition.
But minister means to serve.
Oh, I should have looked up.
And when you provide solutions.
Okay, here it is. A person or thing through which something is accomplished. A person or thing through which something is accomplished. This is Merriam-Webster, okay? So I'm not making up definitions. A person or thing through which something is accomplished. And so therefore, when you begin your business and you're standing in the purpose God has placed you on this earth to do, it is your ministry. So Be the Answer is my ministry. So come on through and get your word.
That's it. That is it. Well, I just thank you so much. And like I said, Nicole has a book. She's in Speakers Magazine for the month of June. You can still go to speakersmagazine.net, go on and read her story and join us. We'll meet you all there in October so that you can have that major shift that you need in 2020. Okay. No playing around. It ain't no time for that. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole
Pam.
Roberts Jones. Be the answer.
Event.com.
There we go. All right. Talk to you. Love you, girl. All right.
Love you
Bye-bye.
too.
All right. We'll see you. Bye-bye.